Hi there, my friends. I haven't recorded in a very long time, and I've been thinking about all of you who have tuned in over the years here, and it's been quite some time that I've been recording, and quite some time now that I've been on pause. But I've been busy, and many of you have contacted me, so I thought I would just do a short video on self love. And this is something that is so essential. And we have to wonder, why do so many people not feel a sense of self love, self worth, self value? And I want to give you a couple of pointers on that. One reason is that our parents did not know self love, or their parents, or their parents, or their parents. And some have. It isn't taught to us in school. It's often taught to us that there's a middle person who can bring us to love, that we seek for it outside of ourselves. And this often shows up in the form of the requirement for approval, for recognition, for validation from some source on the outside. And you could say in many cases this structural ghost, because it isn't even real, is referred to often as patriarchy, patriarchal institutions, that some kind of recognition or validation will happen on the outside and then will allow us to feel satisfied, whole, worthy of value within ourselves. Well, this is a mistaken notion. So, in order to reverse this process, as you probably already know, we have to pause into our own presence and begin to dismantle the different ways that we get hooked on the outside, the ways in which we seek approval from some other source. And when we start to look and simply notice from a place of kindness the different ways in which we look outside of ourselves, then we can begin to deepen and listen and feel and inquire, is there actually anything missing here? If we get really honest with ourselves, if we pause in presence for long enough to feel, there may be some period of discomfort, because with the looking outside of ourselves, when it hasn't come to us, this approval or recognition, then we can begin to interpret that as something is wrong with me. And all kinds of stories can get created about wrongness, not enoughness. And these interpretations, build up as stories in the mind. So we have to unravel these stories and see that that's simply an interpretation about something outside that can't really give us self love. So when we see that, no matter how much, like, you could put yourself in an ocean of love, but if you weren't able to drink it in from the inside and feel worthy and feel your own value, you wouldn't really take in one drop. So this is an inside job. I hate to feel of it as work, because it isn't, when you let yourself relax, 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 and feel back into your own sense of, maybe it feels like there's some dust in the way, some cobwebs, some blocks, some wounding, some scar tissue. And then we come into a wide welcome of welcoming all of the feelings, all of the different ways in which we may have disconnected or settled for something less, you know, cut ourselves off from a deeper source of well being and wellness within. So you can just go slow, go slow, and let yourself feel welcome, whatever is here. And sometimes there will be tears, and often those tears are joyful. They're not necessarily suffering. Pain is what we resist. So when we push something away, it may feel painful. And then what might come with that is kind of a sense of suffering. And then again, we just watch to see what are we telling ourselves about that? And how kind can we be in this moment? How kind can we be to ourselves? And then we start to appreciate more and more the path that we've been on. Because let's admit it, being human is not easy. And we have to see that when we notice that the people that have gone before us or that are in our earliest environments, that they may not have had the tools or resources as well. So they passed on some of their own wounding. And when we can see that, then we're not blaming. It's kind of like this idea of blaming just dissolves because we're taking ownership and responsibility for our own path. And you could call that our dharma. And our dharma is always about presence, the practice of presence and listening and feeling for what is happening on the inside. And how can I respond to that? How do I come out of reactivity? How do I come into a deeper listening? How do I receive, just what is here for me exactly? And then there's an appreciation, such a wonderful appreciation for who you are and all that you've gone through. Sometimes not easy at all, sometimes really quite painful. But you know how the old nursery rhyme goes about Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and all the townspeople and all the townswomen couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Well, is that actually even necessary? We don't have to put together those pieces. We can let everything fall off and notice that there's something intrinsic within you that cannot be broken. No matter how many walls you have fallen off, no matter how many bumps you've come up against, no matter how many relationships didn't work out, there's something intrinsic to each and every one of us that is always here that cannot be broken. And that's where we begin and it's where we end and it's here always, everything in between. And as we appreciate more of this, what we appreciate appreciates. It's our value, it's our life force, it's our dharma. So I wanted to just share that little piece and feel free to leave something in the comments, subscribe to my channel, Prajna O'Hara YouTube. And I'm hoping to just spontaneously get on a little bit more. And I'd love to hear from you and what you're interested in. So hit the subscribe button and let's be in touch. Have a beautiful day and take really good care of yourself. Only you can do that.